Hello everybody, today's March 28th, 2012. Got some important news articles I'm going to be putting on Moneybags World. I'm going to direct you to. I wanted to give you a little bit of information on them. There's some big things, maybe tomorrow or the next day it's going to be happening against the US dollar by the Brics. That being Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're having their 4th summit tomorrow, and they're going to be discussing some interesting things. I'm going to give you some titles to some articles that I've found. And I also want to bring up something that's been going on. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the efforts by the United States and the European Union putting sanctions on Iran and exempting certain countries, of which China and Iran are not exempted. The two largest oil importers of Iranian oil, the United States is telling them that they need to taper back and not, take so much of the oil in. And India's, I heard reports they were paying gold for the oil, because what's happened is Iran's been cut off from the SWIFT system. James Sinclair did a great explanation of this, how it's being used as a weapon. This system is being used as a weapon of war, a financial war that's going on. And I'll put a link to that interview he did on King World News. He explains it. I wanted to mention a few things about it. It was created in 1973 as a co-op to securely and quickly transfer money around the world. And the chief executive, Lazaro Campos, had the following to say about the SWIFT service interruption to Iran. It's extraordinary and unprecedented. SWIFT has never expelled an institution or a country in 39 years of operation. So there's been 30 Iranian banks cut off from this system. It stands for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. So, it's the way that all the money's being transferred from country to country around the world. They're in this, free. They're just pay to have the telecommunication service, but the amount that's being transferred, there's no fees to transfer the money. This is being used by 210 countries, and it's considered the glue of the financial system. Well, Iran's been cut off from this, and it's making it difficult for the two largest oil importers, India and China, to receive, their oil imports. So there's a lot going on with this, and we could hear some damaging news for the US dollar in this summit that's going to happen tomorrow. The efforts have been somewhat successful. There's been a drop of about 300,000 barrels a day being shipped out of Iran, down to 2.3 million a day from 2.6. But I'm not going to get into my feelings on the whole situation. I'm just bringing you the news, and these are very important news articles. Don't know exactly what's going to be signed or agreed amongst the emerging economies, those 5 countries I listed: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But some of the articles that I'm going to be putting on Moneybags World: Brics to eye joint bank stock exchange tie-up at summit. And in this article, the most important part is the leaders are also expected to sign agreements allowing their individual development banks to extend credit to other members in their local currencies, a step towards replacing the dollar as the main unit of trade between them. I mean, that would be a huge blow to the US dollar and losing its reserve currency. I mean, if these 5 countries start trading amongst themselves in some other currency, I mean, I don't see how there's no way the dollar's not going to go down. It's going down. Most Americans have no idea. They're not concerned. They don't even know they should be concerned. I mean, the average person, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone luckily I can talk to this little camera, and I have people that will comment on what I'm saying, because I feel like I'm worrying about important things, and most people are just worried about, you know, the normal Dancing with the Stars and American Idol. I always say the same shit, but it's true. I mean, they're worried about the big game, and just, I hate putting down, you know, a lot of friends and family, but they don't care. I think I start to talk about this type of stuff to them, and they just want to like walk away. They don't even want to listen to it. So whatever, nothing we could do about that. I mean, all we can do, and what I try to do with this channel, is just keep bringing you good information that supports what we're doing, and we're protecting ourselves with real money for thousands of years. Real quick, I'm going to jump to something else before I tell you. Well, no, I won't. The two other articles I'm going to be putting on Moneybags World is Brics move to replace dollar with super sovereign global currency, and Brics to sign pacts for trade in local currencies, which I mentioned earlier. So, you know, we could hear some big news come out in the next day or two of another huge blow to the dollar, like when China and Japan said they were no longer using the dollar a few months ago to trade amongst themselves. So if all these dollars start coming home because people don't need them, you know, to buy oil with, the whole Petros dollar system that's breaking down now, the inflation here is going to be huge. And you still got the Federal Reserve saying, oh, we expect 2% inflation, whatever. I mean, Ron Paul was my spokesman in that, and then yours as well. Live here in the United States, telling Bernanke, people don't believe your 2% inflation. And then busting out the silver coin. I mean, that was classic. Here it is, Bernanke. You know, people need to be able to save in this. And Bernanke says, oh, well, people can save in whatever currency they like. Oh, so silver's a currency now, huh, Mr. Bernanke? But why is it taxed? Why is there capital gains tax if it goes up? There's no capital gains tax if I have $1. Tomorrow it buys me $1.20 worth of items, you know, or next month it buys me, it has more purchasing power. I don't pay a tax on that purchasing power, but I do by holding silver. So big changes are needed. Going along with big changes being needed, you know, Utah, they legalized gold and silver as legal tender, which is kind of funny because in the Constitution it says only gold and silver shall be legal tender. But we shouldn't even be using this paper monopoly money in the first place. But where in the heck is that? I had that somewhere here. I just had so much information I wanted to bring you guys. I couldn't have it all on the top of my head. I couldn't memorize it all. I usually try to memorize a lot of stuff, but lately I just been looking at so much stuff when I get home at night. I can't even keep it all straight. All right, here it is. House panel okays gold, silver as legal tender. This is in South Carolina. So South Carolina, the bill now is going to go to the House floor. So the House panel okayed it, and we'll have to see what happens. It could be the second state in the United States to re-legalize gold and silver as legal tender. So I'll have to keep you. I'll go ahead and post that also. I'll have to keep you updated on that. So anyway, that's about it for today. We got huge things going on. Am I the only one shaking my head when I look at silver and gold every day? I mean, just, it seems so obvious that it's just has a huge iron fist just holding it down. I forget who recently I was listening to talk about the central banks just having a certain point that they'll let them get to, and then they hammer them down. A few different people have expressed to me lately, you know, concerns about whether they're doing the right thing. I keep telling them, nothing has changed. I mean, you're in gold and silver. That's where you want to be. The amount of money that's being printed, and the questioning of the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency of the world. It's just everything that's going on. I mean, you have to own real money. I mean, you can't just be stuck in paper. And I don't know, but the people running the show, they don't want people to get into gold and silver. That's just too damaging. I mean, it shows how horrible they've done with their paper monopoly system. So as this whole thing unravels, you have to hold real money. There's really no way around that. People are going to find that out. By the time they find it out, gold and silver will probably be a couple $100 an ounce of silver and 3,000-4,000 for gold. I imagine at that point, a lot of more people start to wake up. Luckily, we've all woken up way ahead of time, but it is a little frustrating.